Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope you are all okay on that side of the screen. And today I've got here with me the Aerocool DS Cube, which stands for Dead Silence Cube. And as usual, we're gonna take a look at all the features of this case, and then you decide if it's the right case for you or not. So if you are in the market for a case for your next build, or to renew the look of your actual computer, this might be it. Stay tuned. So looking at the front of the case, I have to be honest with you, once I took it out of the mail packaging, I did fall in love with it. Now, not just because of its slick look, but also its materials that we will cover in a little bit. Now, on the front we will find a logo, Aerocool logo, also a 5¼ inch bay, a 3½ inch bay, and vents to cool the system. Just as a size comparison, I placed it next to the Cooler Master Silencio 352, which was reviewed a while back on the channel, so you can browse the channel, you will find it. Now, in terms of size, we can see that it's a bit thicker and a bit taller, but regarding the length, it is about 6 centimeters shorter than the Cooler Master. Now, regarding these side panels, as you can see, both of them will have a black panel, but Aerocool has an option that you can order with one of these cases, a side panel with a window, so you can show all the bells and whistles that you have on your computer, whether they are LEDs, lights, and whatever you would like to put in your machine. Now, before I forget, I did order the black model, and you will also find a white model of this particular case. Beside that, you will have a wide range of colors that you can choose from, depending on your taste. So for that, just check the link that is on the description. On the back of the case, we will find a 120mm fan pre-installed that can be replaced with a 140 if you wish to, 2 holes for water cooling if necessary, 4 PCI slots, 1 regular size PSU. On the left of the PSU, some extra space for 2 2½ inch SSDs or hard drives, and of course the space for the I/O shield of your motherboard. Before we take a closer look at the top of the case, let me just tell you that the touch and feel is wonderful. Now, it is a great quality rubberized plastic that feels really solid and really nice to touch it. Now, back on topic, on the top we will find a power button, a reset button, HDD LED activity light, a microphone input, headphone jack, 2 USB 2.0 and 2 USB 3.0. Aerocool includes, besides the top panel that comes pre-installed, a top panel with some grill and dust filter that can be used in case that you want to use the top as exhaust for your cooling system. And talking about cooling, on top you'll find space to 2 times 140mm fans or a 280 water cooling solution. Getting a little bit back to the panels, as you can see, it's really easy to swap. All you have to do is replace the button that is included and then just place it on the grilled top panel if you wish to use this one. And then just place it back as you did with the original panel, and there you go. A different look for the same case. Now, on my opinion, I do prefer the one that comes pre-installed, the slick without any grill, but this is a personal option, so you will be free to use either one that you prefer. On the bottom you will find that oval grill look, but that grill is not with air intake. The only part of the case that will have air intake is, as you can see, the part of the PSU that will be protected with the dust filter, as you saw in the video. Beside that, we will have 4 rubberized feet to help not to slip our machine. Now, we already saw the side panels, but I wanted to reinforce that they are really solid. Now, this is not just a thin layer of metal. They are solid, really hard, heavy, by the way, but really hard to bend. Now, taking out these side panels, let's take a first look out of this case. And as you can see, it has a really nice way of organizing things, especially the motherboard separated from the PSU, the hard drives on the other side. So this really gives a sensation of organization on this case. Looking closer at the bottom, we'll find this dedicated enclosure for the PSU with 4 nice rubberized feet to avoid vibrations, and also next to it that extra space that may be really nice to add 2 extra 2.5-inch STDs or 2.5-inch HDDs. Talking about storage, you will also find those 2 bays that will hold either a 2.5-inch STD, as you can see by the holes that you can screw the STD there, or a regular 3.5-inch hard drive. Now I'm using this case to build a computer, and on this particular case I will be using one of each, one 2.5-inch STD and one 3.5-inch hard drive. On the front you will find that 200mm fan that will push the air inside the case to refresh your system. On the back we will also find a 120mm fan, which by the way is really silent as it is on the front, but there is a downside, which is the wiring colors, but I will leave that for the conclusion of the video. Now you will have 2 connections, one 3-pin connection for your motherboard if it's supported, or a 4-pin connection if your motherboard is a bit older and doesn't support that feature. Talking about wiring, we will find also the front I/O USB 2.0 and USB 3.0 with, in my opinion, the right choice of colors, and the length is okay so we can route them. Now on the other side we will have the connections for the motherboard, which in my opinion, once again, the colors of the wires really a bad choice from Aerocool. Now I did manage a solution for this on the build, and stay tuned with the channel so you can see the build once I upload it. But I have 2 things about this. One is the size of these cables, which could have been a bit longer, and of course the colors that I've already mentioned, but I will leave more details to the end of this video. Regarding the motherboard that we will be using on this case, it will have to be a micro ATX or a mini ATX. And of course the GPU you will be using, it can be a big GPU. All you will have to do to use the whole length of the case will be to remove that 3.5-inch bay, and you will be set to go. So we already saw the top of the case, but I wanted to give you a closer shot, and so that you could see that you have enough space to 2x140 or a 280 big water cooling system. Of course, if you want to opt for 2x120mm fans, you are free to go because the connections are there. And to finish up this review, just one last shot, which is when you power on the computer using this case with all the components inside, the only light that you will see will be the HDD activity light, which in my opinion is more than enough. I think that we know when our computer is on or off, so we don't necessarily need another light just to tell you that. Okay guys, and that wraps up the review of this particular case. I hope that I could answer most of the questions that you had about the case. If you didn't know it, I'm happy to introduce it for you. Now I would like to share with you some pros and cons that I did find out. Fortunately, more pros than cons. And the first one is the look of the case. Now it's a bit wider than what we are used to see on this type of cases, but it really looks awesome. And this few inches more or few centimeters more that we have on the case really gives the ability to the components to fit really good on the case. Everything organized as you saw on the video. High quality components, all of the cases built with high quality standards. Now this is not just a cheap plasticky or thin metals. No, it's really high quality, as you could see on the video. One mention to the plastic, which is a rubberized plastic which covers most of the case, and it touches or feels really great. So all in all, great so far. Now, high variety of colors, just because not all of us have the same tastes. For me, black is perfect. Could have been with the white, but as we are all different, there is a wide variety of colors that Aerocool offers. And just, I will try not to forget to post a link below so you can check all the colors that are available for you. Pink, blue, gold, whatever you want, whatever you like, they will have the color that you like. Now, silent fans included. The two fans, of course, they are user upgradable or replaceable as you prefer, but they are really silent. Of course, with any fan, if you push them to the max, then they will make a little bit of noise. Of course, the case is well built and will reduce that noise, as well will reduce some of the noise of the components that are inside. And I can say this because I already tested out the case, as you know, and you saw a few pictures. I've got a build all complete now. I just need to edit the videos and a few cuts here and there, and then I will upload to the channel. But so far, this case really does the job that it mentions, which is dead silence. So really great on that aspect. Now, general organization of the case. As I mentioned, those few inches made available for Aerocool to give us, the users, a really wide space to place the motherboards, the PSU separated from the motherboard, which is one of the features that I love about this case. And you can place a really big GPU if you feel the need, more than one GPU if you want at least two. More than two will not be enabled to do it, especially if the GPU has 2 slots. So this case has 4 slots, maximum 2 GPUs, 2 slots each GPU. But I was saying you can place a really big GPU, you can place a big or massive, not big but massive CPU cooler if you wish to, or you can also place a water cooling 280 on top. So regarding that, great. And to finalize the pros, the price. For the price point of this case, all the features, all the bells and whistles that she has, it's just great. She or it, it's just great, in my opinion, of course. And if you look for this price range, and once again, check out the link below. If you look for this price range, you will not find many cases with this build quality. Now, on the con side or less positive things, I did find out 2, one of them being the cable collars. The fan and the I/O or the connectors for the motherboard did had some colors that, on my particular taste, could have been all black to suit the case. Now, this has 2 solutions. One of them, as you might have watched on the video, I did use some electrical tape to paste on the wires so that they all look black. And when you open the case, not that you're going to be opening very often, but once you open it, you have everything organized and everything in black. The other option would be to replace the fans and buy some fans with black wires, or replace the I/O wires yourself. That's going to take some time. So hopefully Aerocool will think about that, and in future releases of this case or any other case from Aerocool, they will think about that and put the wires, which is a simple thing, put the wires according to the color of the particular case. Now, beside the color of the wires, the other not so positive thing was the length of the cables, especially the cables that will connect to the motherboard. They could have been a bit longer, because when you try to route them under the case and connect them to your motherboard, of course you could just place them directly and then the length will be more than fine. But if you try to route them correctly and have your case all organized, and that's the way I like to do all my builds, you're gonna need a few more inches, or if you don't prefer inches, centimeters, you're gonna need a few more so that you can route them all together and look nice. As you can see, and I'll try not to forget to post a picture. On the right side, you will have the wires really pushed towards the part of the hard drives bay, and that's not really good. I can remove and place back the HDDs without messing the wires, but they are still visible. So it would have been nice a few more inches or a few more centimeters, as you wish to. So that wraps up everything, my opinion on this particular case, and of course everything that you saw in the video. Hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, just thumbs up. If not, as usual, thumbs down. If you have any other questions, just put it down on the description. I'll do the best I can, as usual, to answer all the questions that you have. And that is it, guys. So I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.